radiofreebrooklyn.org.
It's happening already. Oh, wait, that's you. All right. How's this? You guys can hear anything?
I can hear you.
Yeah,
I can hear myself.
Too.
All right, I can hear everybody now.
Yeah, great.
Wow. It was a slow realization. The world became real to you all at once.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I was just checking to see if the people that were having their date next to us were over.
I want to say this as respectfully as I can. I'm very attracted to that lady. She was very pretty. Wow. But yeah, we needed them to go because they were having a good time.
Yeah.
They were having a nice party.
They were partying for sure.
Yeah,
They
they
were
definitely.
partying.
They had been drinking for hours. Yep.
God bless them. God bless them. And that's how we begin. We almost got. I came late from grading students, so I got here after my guests, which I try not to do. And then we almost got locked in the elevator.
Yep.
And then what's that damn hiss? I shut off the thing. And then we almost got locked in the elevator. And then what was the other thing? Oh yeah, and then we came in and these people were having a reunion, a very wine sopped reunion, and we love it. And that's how
my credit card got hacked today. It's been an interesting day.
Whoa! Yeah. And you're dealing with the sinus allergy.
You know what? May 9th. It's cursed. Is that May 9th? Did I get the right date?
I think it's May 9th.
Okay.
It's about to be May 10th. It's May 9th right now, and it's no suggestion. Hello, everybody. I'm Ralph Jean Pierre, co-host Jake Joseph, fighting for his life.
Yeah.
And hold on, Zivon. I don't remember your last name. I saw it on my text. Say it.
Toplin.
Toplin. Zivon Toplin. Am I pronouncing your first name correctly? How do you say it?
Perfectly.
Zivon. Okay.
You got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Is it Russian?
It might be. I mean, I've met Zevs before.
Yeah.
Zev being Hebrew. Although I'm named after my mom. My mom was raised by her grandmother.
Okay.
Whose name was Zoe, and so she named me after her. And so my mom would say that Zivon is the masculine version of Zoe. Which might be true, but I've met a lot of Zoes and I've never met another Zivon before.
Yeah.
So who knows? I mean, it's the masculine version now.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. You could claim that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just decide that it's masculine. Zivon Toplin.
Also, my mom is not the Jewish half of my family anyway. So anyway, I guess the Hebrew part isn't even totally relevant to that side.
Oh, wow. Son, I want to speak to you today about masculinity.
Okay, great. Yeah. No, yeah. That sounds great.
How to be masculine.
Great. Yes.
Do you guys want to have that before I give your cat itch shots or after I give your cat itch shots?
This is
I'm the vet, I'm
a veterinarian.
Dr. Johnson. I realize that I've made you guys wait in the exam room for a while. I'm here to do the exam, but if you guys are about to have like a really important father-son conversation, I can come back.
No, it's okay. Let's get into it.
My son Tyre, Tyre, Tyre.
Okay, yeah.
Now, son, even a veterinarian can be masculine. Even a veterinarian.
Of course.
It depends on the style of animal that they treat.
Did your cat have any reactions to the last shots that we gave them 2 months ago?
It didn't roar like I hoped it would. It didn't begin to roar.
All right. That's
Otherwise, it's been normal.
Cool. We'll put that in the chart.
Even a veterinarian. Now, do you treat bears, horses, colts? Do you treat sharks?
I'm a small animal vet, so it's mostly cats, dogs, birds, occasional iguana and turtle, but usually cats and dogs.
I think masculinity, as I understand it, can take a number of forms and sizes. Would you agree with that, Dad?
When I was 11, I ate a turtle.
Okay.
Wow.
Since
to
we're speaking about
understand it, to study it and understand it, I ate the shell.
Oh, okay.
My jaw was wired shut. I broke my own jaw that day.
All right. I don't even know how to respond to that. You know what? Since we're talking about masculinity, your cat's about 8 months old now, and I would recommend at the year mark you have him neutered.
Jesus.
Neuter my cat.
Neuter our cat?
Remove.
It's a responsible thing to do for most pet owners.
Remove the reproductive organs of my cat.
You dare to propose neutering our cat?
Marshmallow? Never.
Look,
Tyre, help me roll this barrel into this veterinarian's office.
Oh, what the hell? Where did... I didn't even see that in the hallway.
Watch out, Marshmallow.
Oh, jeez. Okay, look, guys, cats can have lots of kittens. It's actually a big problem. Yeah, one stray cat, if you let him outside, he could impregnate a feral cat, and, there's 13 more kittens. It's a big issue, especially in the city. So we do recommend that you neuter him just for that issue. It's a responsible thing to do.
My son and I are going to finish this bottle of bourbon here in the middle of this office. It's an 11-year-old man.
Okay. All right. Are you even 21?
It's 11.
I'm 11.
Jesus. Okay. I thought you were saying that this was aged 11 years. You're 11.
It is. I began to be aged the day my son was born.
All right, guys. I just
Tyre.
want to give your cat his shots, and then we will. You guys can
Tyre.
drink your bourbon or whatever after the appointment. Is that okay?
You want me to finish it?
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh. This is horrifying to watch. Look, son, you don't have. I know you're not my son. I'm saying that metaphorically, but you don't have to do this. You don't have to do everything your father says. That doesn't make you masculine.
I can ride that gerbil.
Oh, please, you're drunk.
That is true.
Look, you don't have to listen to everything your dad says. Torturing yourself is not a noble thing to do. Look, I think being masculine means you're independent, you're self-sufficient, you can take care of the people around you, and you're responsible. None of the things that your father is doing is really representing that.
I rolled this barrel in here, attempting to make a show and a parade of masculinity to show my son what a man is. This is a man, son.
The veterinarian.
Yes.
Dr. Johnson?
Yes.
Oh, you're falling over. Oh, God, you're drunk, too.
You spoke your truth, and my dad respects you, and so I will respect you.
All right.
Cut the balls off that cat. Whatever needs to be done. Right?
I thought Marshmallow was a woman.
Scene.
Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Great. This I don't know where this show's gonna go. It started with so much wild energy, and I wanna keep it going there. And Jake, if you need to move around and take care of yourself, do not worry.
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I just got a little bit of the nose dribbles.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's all good. Yeah.
Jake is actively draining and releasing right now as we do this show, and it's beautiful. Zivon, speak your truth to me right now. Where are you? Where are you right now in life? I don't know. I don't want to know where you're from. I don't know. I don't want to know where you've been right now in your life. Where are you? Where do you find yourself on this strange Thursday night when you've come to this studio? Where is your life right now?
It's pretty good. I'll be honest. I was pretty excited to be because I was here a little bit early and just looking at the deserted streets both ways. It was feeling like it was going to be a pretty adventurous night. I was pretty excited to do it.
We've never talked about it, but there's a hotel next door to this studio. Next door to the studio is in a building of loft spaces, studio spaces. And there's a hotel next door that I never quite know what's going on over there.
I didn't even realize that.
It is a weird hotel.
I just thought I was in the middle of an extremely deserted street.
Yeah, we're in the warehouse district, right?
There's some action happening. Like Pine Box Rock Shop is just a few blocks away. when the daylight, there's lots of nice hipsters and artists and people running around here. I think people hole up around this time of night on a weeknight, but it's deserted-ish, but there's some stuff happening over here. It's a pretty hopping train spot.
It is a weird hotel, though. That hotel does have weird
Hotel's
energy.
weird. But there's 2 taco trucks and a halal cart in front of that train station.
The Morgan Ave.
Yeah. We got some spice. Okay. But so you knew when you're standing out there, something's gonna happen tonight.
That's what it felt like. It's late.
Yeah.
What
kind of vibes have you gotten from that hotel?
Oh, it's like one day there was like a bunch of like soldiers outside of it. Like, not like they were clearly like guys in the military that were like there, but they were in uniform and they were like, and then there's been like all sorts of weird like comings and goings and people hanging out by the dumpster. And it's got like that seedy hotel vibe, like that like this is like a hotel that you go to because it's out of the way. No one's gonna see you drive up. No one's gonna see you walk in. Like, that's what the vibe I get from this hotel.
That's what the vibe is, but also soldiers
are there. Yeah.
You said they were in uniform. Or
they were in their like camo.
Their fatigues.
Yeah, their fatigues. So like I've seen all sorts of weird stuff outside of here.
Were they patrons of the hotel, do you think, or were they just...
I have no idea. You know what? Like, they were loitering outside. They could be patrons that were, like, waiting outside for their buddies to come out or go in or who knows what. Or they could have just been moving around town and just decided to stop there. I don't know.
You guys are free to stand out here in front of... But just don't block the doorway. I'm not going to question you as to what you guys are doing out here, but... I'm the only clerk on duty, and I'm not gonna harass. Just don't block the doorway.
We're getting into some seedy stuff out here.
Yeah,
you didn't need to tell me that. Okay, I'm the only person behind the desk. This is a. I'm not gonna. I was gonna say it's a nice hotel. It's obviously not a nice hotel, but I'm a nice person. We're nice people. I don't want to know the nature of the things you're getting to out here.
We're gonna tell you the nature.
It's
Stop widening your stance, sir. You keep widening your stance.
Listen. We're getting into some seedy stuff. Let me ask you a question. Are you ready for an adventure tonight?
I don't like the way you put your sunglasses on when you said that to me. And your colleague here seems to be having a sort of a sneezing fit, and you're ignoring him. There's so much. You guys have a wild dynamic. This one seems vulnerable and reasonable, but he doesn't seem fazed by how aggressive you are.
Do you mind if I steal some of your tissues?
Please have.
We're getting crazy tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can have as many tissues as you want. That's not a strange request at all, sir. We're gonna go up there. We're gonna get some beds. You have not. Okay, you're gonna check in. You're gonna check in.
Oh, we're gonna check in. All right.
We're gonna go to the ice machine, and we're gonna fill up a glass with some ice.
Now it seems like you're also joining. Everything has a slight bit of menace or mischief to. This is a hotel. All these things are things you can do. I'm Beverly, by the way. I'm the clerk. I'm also part owner of this hotel.
Whoa, Beverly!
I bought in. I didn't help found or establish this hotel, but I worked here many years, and I bought into. I have a stake in this hotel, a small stake.
We like your energy. You're the owner, and you say it's not a good hotel. That's a good energy.
It's an okay hotel. We keep it clean. We try to keep. We don't have a lot of. We try to keep some riffraff out of here. Best as we can, but it's It's on the edge of town. It's in the,
Well, if you didn't want the riffraff, then we're sorry to disappoint you. Because we're going to go in those rooms and we're going to open up the dresser drawer.
We're going to open up the dresser drawers. We're going to put all of our clothes in there.
We're going to get the iron out and we're going to iron those clothes.
You guys both wearing fake stubble? You have fake stubble on your face?
Yeah, maybe. But... Look.
Yeah, we got fake stubble, all right. What's it to you, Beverly?
You were both. This is prom night, but it's only 9:00.
We're definitely not high school kids. You're wearing
a full Izod suit. That's a reference from a long time ago. A leisure suit.
Yeah, that means we're definitely not
Don't
kids
start
coming
crying.
from the prom.
It's unsettling that you started crying yet you haven't changed your wide stance.
I think if you come up there with us, Beverly, we could have a really good time.
You trying to have a prom you trying to rent a hotel room and have a prom in there by yourself?
Oh yeah. That's what we're trying to do. Now, you trying to stand behind this desk all night, or are you trying to keg stand all night?
Yeah,
I'm not going to allow you to bring beer up there.
Oh.
You have a policy in your hotel
against minors bringing beer up to your high school students.
We look at our stubble. We're not high school students.
In the city of Toledo, it's not legal for you to drink under the age of 21.
But Beverly, we're bad boys.
Beverly, come on.
Were you planning to dance either apart or close together in some way up in that room?
Yeah,
very close together.
We're going to turn the radio on.
The radios don't work. That's what I was going to tell you. It's just for show. There's no radio up there.
You know, if I didn't know better,
it's okay.
I think you were trying to convince patrons not to stay at your hotel.
Well, not 16, 17, 18-year-old young men who are skipping out on their prom probably because you didn't have dates or were afraid to ask dates out. I'm not trying to get you to not stay here. If you can pay the money, I'll let you stay here, but I can't allow you to bring beer up there.
Listen, Beverly, the only reason we don't have dates tonight is that we're too wild for anyone that might even consider going out with us.
We were going to find a date at the prom. That's how bad we are.
You were going to find a date at the prom?
Yeah, we're going to steal a date. How about that, Beverly? How about we steal you away from this desk and take you to the prom?
Ooh.
I didn't go to my prom.
You could.
You could go to
our prom.
You could go to our prom tonight, and all you'd have to do is get in that elevator.
I got my relief coming in about 17 minutes. You boys want me to drive you to your prom?
Yes, please.
Scene.
That really tickled you.
Oh my God, it was perfect. That made me so happy. I want to continue down this road. All right. Tell us,
Z, we're 2 improv scenes in the first 20 minutes, which is I think a record for us. Normally,
is it?
Yeah.
My birthday.
Oh.
There it is. Zivon, what kind of, you already talked a little bit about your parents. They named you Zivon. I want to know how you feel about your name. How have you felt about it over the course of your life?
I like it a lot. I mean, actually, Zivon is my middle name.
Wow.
This is lore I've never heard before.
Yeah, get ready. My first name is Aaron. And when I was growing up, there was another kid named Aaron in my class. And so growing up, I was always Aaron T, and he was always Aaron K.
And K is the cooler letter. We know that.
It was, the thing is that it's kids, right? So everyone gets so used to calling you Aaron T that they would call me that even when he was not around. And so, or people would always get confused. So then when I got to high school, I was like, okay, I'll just go by my middle name because...
Do you look like Aaron K?
No, he's huge. That dude is
like
a fucking giant, man.
So how do people confuse you guys then?
I guess, I don't know, I don't know, man. I guess looking at teachers looking at the papers and the names or something. Yeah. No one would ever visually confuse us. That guy is a giant.
Wow.
Truly like cartoonish. And I was always a little kid. And so, cartoonishly large man. And so then I got to high school and I was like, all right, let me just go by my middle name instead, just to avoid all that nonsense. Maybe I just didn't really like being called Aaron T. So I started going by Zivon. And but then I never met, there was not one other Aaron in my high school. It was all It was I was never in another situation, and I've never have been since then where I would be confused with another Aaron.
Yeah. But you've just kept Zivon going.
I've just kept it. It's one of those things. Yeah, I just kept it. I mean, I like both my names.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny having like half the people close to me call me Aaron, half of them call me Zivon, and then once I started hanging around the pit, because when you meet improv people, it's so many people so fast. I just started having people just call me Z.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have to,
Yeah.
wouldn't have to get embarrassed for not remembering.
Wow, this is beautiful. I love your own connection to your middle name. I don't know why I felt like sometimes people might pull away if they have a unique name.
Mm-hmm.
But that's beautiful that you're like, no, I'm going to hold on to this. It's practical, and it just seemed like you were digging the flavor.
I definitely dig the flavor for sure. I like the flavor of Zivon. Honestly, I'm sure that was a part of it when I was 14 too. It's funny. It's one of those names that like people won't remember the first time, but then after the second time, they definitely won't forget it. Like,
right.
Yeah,
it kind of gives you a free pass too.
Yeah.
If you don't remember someone's name, you get a free pass, so that it's like, because I know for a fact they do not remember mine. So I'm ready to. Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm just terrible with names. Like I've been doing improv for 9 years, and you would think that you would get better at picking up names, because in improv, like, you're constantly getting new names. People are naming your character different things. You're naming other characters different things, and you have to remember that. And I still fucking can't do it. Yeah.
Do you have some set names that you kind of abuse in terms of your use of them?
Like Genevieve for women and Gerald and Becky, I think, are like the three names that
names.
I call people, like, I think I go to Gerald and Becky and Genevieve as like the three, like, I don't know, maybe. Yeah.
That question made me sad because it made me realize I'm not playing enough to even have that.
Yeah.
I want to be playing more, and I'm not. It really bums me out a little bit.
What's your go-tos?
I definitely use Derek way too much. I think I gotta put Derek
cool
back
on
up.
Derek, yeah.
Cool it on Derek, man. I really stay doing Derek way too much.
What's an improv move that for you is like you're not upset that you do it too much, but it's like, this is a move I like to do? And what's a move you've seen somebody else do? Maybe you do it, maybe you don't. That you're like, man, I love this move.
Oh, man. And one more time, a move that I've seen.
The first one is a move that you do. You're not sick of it yet. You're not like, oh, I do this too much, but just, this is a move I feel good about doing. I pull this move out a lot. This move has served me well.
That's a good one.
I've also never heard a door slam in this.
Yeah.
What's happening tonight? Is it a full moon? The full moon's in retrograde. All right, go ahead.
I definitely like to... I like to gas my scene partner at the top of the scene. Really like have like praise their character for a particular quality that they might have. Like identify their quality like really early, and I think that that's the best thing ever. So like the other day, I think I was in a show, and the other guy was like I had him be the president, and he had just gotten elected, and he was the coolest president. Like all these other presidents might have had some professionalism, but he definitely had swagger to his presidency. So I definitely wanted to gas him about that. I definitely like going for that up top.
Nice.
Or like, ascribing some sort of value or giving some character a value system, like something that they value, that they believe in, like my scene partner up top. And it kind of makes it so that I can just like I kind of give it to myself too. So I like get a peas in a pod thing going, by giving them that and also really valuing that. So I think I like doing that. I really love moves. This is maybe more of a physical thing that I really, really like it when I see it. I like when people use a physical object. I mean, whether it's mimed or not, but an object in the reality as a portal to another world, right? So let's say like they like, let's say someone opens the freezer and they step inside the freezer and suddenly they're in, an icy world or something like that. Or like they open the dishwasher and they go in the dishwasher and they're in the middle of a hurricane or something like that, or a flood, or they're on a river. Like, I really like those sorts of transition moves within a set. I think those are super cool.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Have you seen this move done before?
Yeah, like someone will, like, it's like the wardrobe in Chronicles of Narnia. Like someone will just like open a thing and then it's like, oh, it's like something else. So that's like, it's a portal to a new place, or
it does stuff like that. Like it's a real like Centralia, like Matt Higginsy kind of move,
Centralia, I think, is the greatest improv team in the world.
They're fucking cool, man.
This show is named after them.
Oh yeah?
No suggestion.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I love that kind of stuff. Yeah. I really love that, physical reality shifting type. Whether it's an improv or in theater, I always think that sort of stuff is really cool.
I feel like there's pockets, schools of thought, styles of improviser in New York. I think an improviser who appreciates Centralia is a specific kind of improviser. Because I don't think everybody knows them. Have you seen them play? No. Yeah, I don't think everybody knows them, and I think if you appreciate that style of play, you're a specific kind of player. Because I don't think that what they do, and I've seen tons of great players that I love from the UCB.
Sure.
But I don't think what they do is a UCB thing. They're doing something else.
It has a different flavor for sure. And I say that as someone who truly loves and appreciates, both and other styles too. But I really like that psychedelic type of vibe.
Oh,
You can really imagine, I mean, I don't know, but I feel like you could imagine, like, Del Close circa like 1979, or like going on the, chilling with, Leary or whoever, and like tripping out, thinking up some improv sets like that.
Oh yeah. There's something beautiful to me. It's like that is kind of, I don't want to say novelistic. It's because it's like magical realism, but their characters are so deep, but the worlds are so whimsical.
Yeah. I think magical realism is a really cool way to describe it, or novelistic. I mean, one thing that I really like about
Keep talking, I'm listening.
One thing I really like about that group in particular is also their everyone on that team is clearly super well read as well. I mean, speaking of novelists, like clearly like has read a lot of books or watched a lot of films or like seen a lot of plays or like listened to different forms of music or art, and has a really eclectic, I don't know, they seem to have an awareness of a lot of different styles I feel like tropes is almost like writing it off too much, but they really like can plug in so that, a lot of the times in improvisation, people, they don't want to center plot too much, but I think they have such an awesome command of story structure that they really can tell these awesome stories that blend together in a really cool way, It reminds me, I want to ask you the same thing about your favorite move that you do, but it reminds me of what we were talking about just before the show started about how you're the only other person I've heard say this, about how we both prefer the Ali G show versus any of I didn't see Bruno, but versus the movies. Yeah.
And I always when the movie was coming out, in my gut, I was like, I'm going to see this and I'll probably love it, but it's not going to be better than the show. And I think one of the reasons is I don't care about story. I love film. I don't watch much TV probably for this reason. I don't care about story. In fact, it kind of bums me out. I like story when story is used to paint and create tone and color and vibe. For me, that's the only use of story, as a tool to create these other things. But like, otherwise, I don't really care that much about story.
Is that a clown thing for you, or is it like I
think it's not chicken or the egg. It's probably what attracts me to clown.
Gotcha.
I don't care. I just don't care much about story. Story is very useful to create tone and create colors and create moods, but that's the only thing I'm interested in it for. And a great story will do that, but like to me, the story should serve that. The thing, the way you're trying to make people feel, not vice versa. The way you're trying to make people feel should not serve the story, you know? And that's I'm not saying that's a right or wrong. I think I've enjoyed art that probably goes the other way, but for me, I'm not that interested in story.
And you'd say, and you're relating that to the Ali G show, because the show is basically all interviews.
Yeah. It's just these little bursts of comedy, and maybe he'll form a story out of it, these little pieces that he has. But I think it's in the same way of Centralia, like they're doing plot and story, but I don't think it ever, they'll leave something immediately if it doesn't feel good.
Totally.
You know what I mean? But as long as the story that they're finding is serving this beautiful thing that they're weaving, they'll keep going down and exploring, which I'm never in a Centralia show like, oh, it was too much story. I'm always like, oh, what else is going to happen?
Yeah.
I want to see it go
really,
deeper.
really poetic, I think, when you watch those guys, for sure.
I think they play, I think those are the sides of like, of I would just say comedy. Like they play like artists as opposed to I'm just an improviser, or even I'm just a comedian.
Yeah.
They play like, I think they play like artists.
What would somebody have to do to, I guess, transcend from just an improviser to an improv artist in your mind?
I would love to hear your answer to this. I think really it's what you said, like playing from your full self. So like everything that you believe, everything that you think it, not to say that you're on some sort of soapbox when you're playing, but just your point of view, how you think about the world, the things that you think are funniest, the things that you think are most beautiful. You're trying to like reach inside yourself to like employ everything that you got. There's a really, I love, Born Standing Up. Have you read it?
No, I haven't read it.
I think you'd love it if you feels like you're a reader.
Yeah.
It's Steve Martin's memoir about his stand-up career. It's a really, Jerry Seinfeld says he thinks it's the best book ever written about stand-up. I don't know how many books are written about stand-up, but there's a line in the book that really sticks with me, has stuck with me forever, which is, you know, in the 60s, 70s, probably in the 70s, you know, Johnny Carson was the kingmaker. And what you want when you go on his show to do stand-up is for him to say, come over and sit next to me. Because if you get to sit next to him, your career is made. And I think Steve Martin did the show like 7 times before he was asked to come sit down. And he comes sit down like a 7th time, and he's talking to Johnny, and they go to commercial. And Johnny, he had a great set. And Johnny just leans over to him and goes, you'll use everything you ever learned. And I just remember thinking like, oh, just like that. Just like you, every part of what you are as a human being is coming out when you play in some way. And that's what I feel when I watch Centralia. But what do you think about that? What do you think makes you an artist, play like an artist versus?
It's interesting. It's an interesting question. For me, when I'm watching different like improv, for instance, I don't usually make that distinction like between, okay, this is this is some more artsy shit, or like this is more like strictly comedy. It's honestly something that I notice more improvisers doing for themselves. You know what I mean? And I don't know if that's something in terms of in terms of the comedy world or something. I mean, who knows? I think because for me, it feels like another form of theater, but I think for a lot of people, like even, which I think is probably a problem, like even the word like arts or theater or something like that gives off a very, like people have, like a very elitist connotations with that. Understandably so, in terms of like the way that they generally interact with things like that, like, say, museums or theater stuff, or, more traditional theaters. And I think that for a lot of people, one, it makes them feel like it's higher stakes. and 2, it makes it feel a little less punk rock than I think a lot of artists would want to, or excuse me, improvisers or comedians would want to feel. But I don't know. For me, punk rock is still music, So so I don't really view it differently. But I think you would meet a lot of improvisers who would not describe themselves as actors, playwrights, directors. Even though for me, when I'm watching it, I totally. I mean, I feel like
I definitely don't consider myself anything other than a guy that does improv.
Right.
Like, I sometimes will tell people I'm a comedian, and then I'll like say it, and I'll be like, because like I'm really just saying it so they have like an easier time understanding. So I'm not like trying to give like an answer that has so many caveats that it's like not even an answer anymore.
Yeah.
Because like I'm just trying to be like, oh, I just do improv, but no one really knows what that means. So I'm like, oh, I'm a comedian. But like I totally get it. I think there is like that. I definitely resonate with, I think, one of the people that you're describing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't say that derisively at all.
Yeah,
I mean, for me, it's just like what's really ironic about it is that so many theatrical traditions across the world have, even like, whether it's recent or ancient or what have you, all across the world have employed improvisation in some sort of form. Maybe not in the way we encounter it now, but like improvised live theater is not something that is something that has, had so many different variations and forms on, various levels of, I'm not sure, like,
artistry.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, I feel like it's all artistry, but it's like, even like, okay, like let's take like theater examples, right? Like a lot of, like, US, a lot of plays that you'll see in the US are like this American realism, problem plays, traditionally like righteous person encountering some sort of like social problem. And a lot of that is coming from, people working out of the group theater in New York in like the mid 20th century in terms of like the artistic ethos behind that. So like, Meisner and Strasberg and Adler, and those are a lot of like the director minds that a lot of that stuff comes out of, not exclusively, but some of it. And then those guys are really influenced by Stanislavski, early 20th century in Russia. But all of those people incorporated improvisation very, very heavily and explicitly in all of their actor training.
Yeah, like Meisner has a lot of improv adjacent stuff.
I would, I would totally call it that. So for me, it's just kind of wild that we make that sort of distinction as improvisers. That like a lot of us, maybe are like, okay, yeah, we know about these guys developing systems, say at UCB, or like, okay, if you go back a little further, people might be like, all right, yeah, Viola Spolin or Del Close. But like before that, people tend to, like, I think sequester it a little bit more than other theatrical art
You've
forms.
called the music that you make rock and roll. And that's fine. I accept that label, but just for the audience, could you qualify what makes it music?
Qualify what makes it music, please.
What makes
you?
your art music?
Oh, it's got that, it's got that do-do-do-do-do-do.
Would you please enunciate your words?
That's what I got for the audience,
That was quite a beat that you found
Quite
there.
a beat. I must say I'm impressed by your beat.
Yeah.
A bit of rhythm, I will grant you that there's a bit of rhythm happening.
Gotta.
Just a bit of jazziness.
A bit of jazziness. I would count myself charmed. I would.
Oh, Quentin, you are charmed by this ruffian named Spike. Spike is what they call you.
Yes, I'm Spike, and I would say that I'm rock and roll because I just play from the soul, man.
From the what?
From the soul.
Yeah, just kind of like reaching myself, and I give it a little.
These are not terms that are often used in contemporary music. This soul.
Yeah, I like to put on some black clothing. I grab a knife and I just like cut a couple cuts in my shirt and pants, and I just let it go, and then I hit up the guitar and I'm like,
oh, I must count myself charmed. You are an incredible specimen, Spike.
Yeah.
Quentin, you are too easily charmed. You're too susceptible.
Can I smoke in here?
Please, smoke. Yes, smoke.
Go ahead and indulge in your animal urges to imbibe. And
you guys want one?
No,
I don't usually, but sure, I'll try.
Quentin.
Please, Griselda, it's not often that we get to have such fun at the academy.
Quentin, we are on an assignment.
Quentin, man, grab that axe and hit that switch on that
Quentin,
on that Marshall.
Oh, I suppose I could.
You play rock and roll as you indulge in nicotine.
Oh, please. Well, there's a first time for everything.
Take another drag of that cigarette butt. Now, I want you to take your hand and put it on the neck of that guitar.
We are in a rock and roll club.
What do you feel? What do you feel?
I feel energy.
What kind
pulsing through my very being, the core of my brain, Griselda.
Energy. What kind of energy could you possibly be feeling?
Griselda, go over there and grab that volume nozzle.
Grab the volume nozzle.
Grab the volume
Griselda.
little.
Do no such.
I want you to.
Please.
I want you to take it and push it up from 8 to 9. Push it up from 8 to 9.
I'll use my kerchief and I'll deign to touch this volume knob, as you call it. My God.
What do you feel, Griselda? What do you feel?
I've soiled myself.
Now you guys know the rock and roll.
This is what it is like.
Hit him with the riff.
Scene.
I don't know where my accent was going.
That was beautiful. What
rock and roll. People play rock and roll all over the world. You can use whatever accent you want.
I think it went from like kind of British to then kind of Southern to then kind of Australian to then back to British to then Southern.
People play rock in all those places.
Yeah, true.
Paint us a picture of what you were like at 16, Zivon. What are you up to? What kind of trouble you getting into?
Yeah, I really liked when I was 16. I would get into. I really would love to just go on adventures around the city in terms of just walking around for really long extended.
Which
period.
city?
New York. So I grew up in New York.
Yeah. Okay, you born here?
Yeah.
Wow, you were born and raised. Nice.
So I grew up in the city, and so when I was 16, I would like take the train to like, various spots, or just walk as long as I could, just to feel the texture of the city for a long time. It was one of my favorite things.
And then just like come home at like 3 a.m. or something.
No, I mean maybe sometimes, but I think that was one of my favorite pastimes. Just going on. I don't know, just going on super long walks.
Is there from one of those walks? Is there one that stands out, or like something crazy, or like something like really poignant that sticks out in your memory of doing that?
It's funny. Maybe it's not one event, but I think just walking around, and 'cause it's so big, you could spend your whole life here and just have parts of the city that you had not gone to ever.
I'm just like you. I'm born and raised here. I have that same exact feeling.
And I just remember feeling, especially 16. Once I was in high school, a lot of the kids that I went to high school with didn't really, were from all over, like all the 5 boroughs. So going to new friends' house and stuff, I remember. It's just cool going to places that you had never really gone to before. And so I just remember the feeling of like the very palpable feeling of I don't know if it's necessarily what it would have been like to spend any sort of days of my childhood in X part of the city as opposed to Y part of the city, but just like this feeling that this particular one block has been pulsing for the past 16 years and changing just the same way as all the other blocks that I knew. And I remember like that feeling being really palpable and really cool.
Okay.
And just feeling that.
Do you ever go back and take some of those same walks again to like see like how have things changed from my memory of being a 16-year-old?
I mean, it's always it's definitely different. So I'm 29 now, so that's 13 years ago. So I feel like it's funny because like you read. I feel like you read any book, any novel that takes place in New York City, and the characters like almost invariably mention they're like, oh yeah, this shit is different than it was. Like I feel like that's such a classic like refrain of like like you could open up a James Baldwin novel from 1965 or something like that and just like have them be reading or them looking around and maybe not lamenting but just like commenting on how quickly things change and I don't know, taking strolls or something.
Gotcha. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
I think every city definitely has people that love their own city.
Yeah.
That's not novel at all. But I think there is definitely a breed of New Yorker that I think you can be a transplant, but definitely even people that are from here who like never lose, who like always like live in awe of the city and have like, I count it as a very lucky and special thing that I was born in New York. Were you born in which borough were you born in?
Manhattan. So I've lived in I grew up right next to Riverside Park, in Upper Manhattan, and so I grew up there. And but I've lived different parts of the city. I'd also lived in Washington Heights, or a little farther up from where I grew up, like maybe like 112th, and then also the East Village. So I've lived in Manhattan. But I know what you mean. Like I loved it when I was a kid. I went to college elsewhere. I lived elsewhere for a little bit, but coming back, I always really loved it.
Yeah, I was always jealous of people that grew up in the city. I grew up in a boring small town suburb.
Were you bored when you were growing up there?
Oh,
would you say?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I remember just being like, I don't know what to do with myself, so I'll just play World of Warcraft. But like, I didn't want to be playing World of Warcraft. I would have like rather been like a kid in the city that could just take a $2 subway ride somewhere and go do something.
I think that's huge. The ability to have access to wherever you want to go just for $2. And I mean, I would be, since I went to public school, they just gave you the free Metro card, so you could really just having access to it, I think, is something pretty magical in terms of the level of comparative independence that you can have.
Yeah, I think I was like really craving something like that, or really wanting something like that, and like the only thing I could do is just like I'll do it in a virtual world instead. But but
I hear you.
Yeah, no, I definitely could see how that would be like a really formative.
You like swiping that Metro card? Swipe it again. Swipe it again.
Oh yeah, swipe that Metro card.
Swipe that Metro card, baby. Yeah.
It's saying it's out of funds now.
Very good, very good. Listen, got rid of those tokens. These Metro cards are gonna be big things in New York City.
I made 10 rings, all made of tokens. That's all they're useful for now.
That's right. The MTA is changing.
I cross them to display them. I cross my arms and I fan my fingers out to display.
That's right.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
Look at that.
So you guys are trying to gain some, like, get me to donate to, what is this, Amnesty International?
My partner, he's got like a Thanos glove, but that's all made of tokens.
Okay. Yeah. No, you guys are like cool cats and anything, but like,
Go ahead and swipe that Metro card again.
Right.
Swipe
Why
it
don't you
again.
swipe that Metro card? It feels good.
Yeah.
We're bringing modernity to the system, okay?
Feels nice.
Look, okay, guys, I get the Metro card thing. I'd be happy to make a donation to Amnesty International.
What are you about? Just tell us. Don't worry about that line forming behind you.
I work at the Patagonia where all the finance guys get their vests.
Okay.
And I'm heading up to the store right now. Yeah.
You ever been in a joust?
No, I haven't been in a joust.
Mm-hmm. We joust the trains.
Like you charge the trains at each other?
That's right. I can see you're not from around here.
No.
Probably from a boring small town.
Probably somewhere like
I'm from Poughkeepsie.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Poughkeepsie.
Yeah.
It's New York, but is it? Is it?
Look,
Well, they don't joust trains in Poughkeepsie, that's for sure.
The only trains that are there probably carry cattle and horse.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
Can't joust those.
Normally, when I run into the Salvation Army guys over there, I just kind of give them $1 and I go on my way. But you guys you've kept me here just at the subway turnstile.
We have a stable inside this subway with 17 horses.
I don't believe you.
Whoa!
Well,
Okay.
nice one. Okay, it's not true. We have one horse that we share between the two of us that we've hidden in this subway, but we joust these trains.
Okay. Hey guys, look, I think you're super cool. I think the cause that you guys are trying to champion is pretty cool. I'll give you guys my leftover subway tokens. How about that? You know, those had an intrinsic value at some point. You can. I'll give you $5 too.
The horse has a compartment for a gun.
See, going for this real absurdism right there, Ralf.
I don't know. I really. Oh, that made me deeply happy.
It's time to trip out.
What have you not gotten from this experience that we can provide in the next, I was going to say 6 minutes, but even that is not true because I got to read this read. Hey, you're listening to Radio Free Brooklyn, independent listener supported radio. You're listening, your support keeps us going. Radio Free Brooklyn's mission is to provide a free and open platform to our community and promote media literacy, free expression, and public art. We rely on donations from listeners like you. Donate with a monthly pledge at radiofreebrooklyn.org/donate. Hey, read that paragraph, the third one down at the bottom, Zivon.
RFB mobile app. If you'd like to listen to RFB when you're not in front of your computer, please download our free mobile app for iPhone and Android. Available in the App Store for iPhone or the Google Play Store for Android.
Ooh, nice.
How about this fourth paragraph?
That fourth one. You knock that fourth one out.
Radio Free Brooklyn newsletter.
Woo!
Please be sure to subscribe to our monthly newsletter for the latest news about new programming and upcoming Radio Free Brooklyn events.
We're taking you to prom.
You can sign up at radiofreebrooklyn.org/newsletter.
Nice.
Marshmallow has balls.
I do have a question for you, Z. You were talking a lot about theater before. Is like theater like what got you into improv, or was it like were you
Yeah. I mean, so I definitely have a theatrical background. But it's cool cuz I mean, improv's definitely come in and out of my life.
Did you start it young?
I was exposed to it kind of young, so when I was like I remember being in middle school and watching Whose Line Is It Anyway on TV with my parents. And I remember that being the thing that pushed my bedtime back because my parents let me stay up a little bit later to watch them with it. And so it was Colin Mockery, Wayne Brady, and Ryan Stiles.
Yeah.
And it was always it was like a fourth. They usually have a fourth.
We're at almost 100 episodes of this show, and this is the first time the name Wayne Brady has been spoken on this show.
Which is crazy to me,
wild.
because I remember being like 12 and being like, this dude is insane, man. He's so good. Like I always remember, like always the scenes made me. He had the scene work was on point. They would have him. He would just do songs off the top of his head. That was always crazy. He was always really, really great with the props that they would do. He was
pretty good with impressions too.
Yeah, he was pretty good. I mean, he was really awesome. And then of course, Colin Mockery and Ryan Stiles, like they were really great. So I remember like watching that and thinking it was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And then being in high school and doing theater stuff there, and then my friend who, and we would do some silly improv stuff in high school. I remember as part of the theatrical type class, and then and I always really loved doing that. And my friends and I would always just goof around with each other, just doing little improv scene, whether it's on stage or just goofing around together. And then my friend who sat next to me in science class, she would take me to go to UCB, and I would go see ASCAT, and I would see that a lot. And that was always really amazing to me, and I thought that was cool. And then I went and I ended up studying theater in Chicago. And so I wasn't part of, like, I didn't do the IO Second City type thing there, but a lot of my instructors at the conservatory that I was at were directors at Second City or instructors at IO. So even though I didn't go to those schools directly, that's what it was.
Did you see shows there?
Yeah, I saw a few, but I wasn't really deep in that world. And then it was, and then I lived in Belgium for a year, and I was doing a lot of that more like physical theater or mask or mime and stuff. And they would include.
Were you doing like the Boom Chicago stuff, or?
No, that's
the Netherlands. Sorry.
Netherlands, yeah.
But close by, and so I was doing that, and that wasn't like quote unquote like American improv comedy. It was just they would incorporate improvisation. But then I came back, and I was running this DIY venue for a while, and these guys came one time, and they did like a 2-person improv scene, and it was very theatrical style. Like it was a mono scene, and it was just very actorly and just very believably acted. And I always loved the UCB stuff, but really seeing something that was just really beautifully acted just blew my mind.
I'm bummed out, and I'm excited. I figured this. I feel like we have a ton in common.
Yeah.
I feel like we've barely scratched the surface, and it's been an hour. We definitely got to have you back very, very soon.
Sure, I'm with it.
I feel like we haven't, in keeping with tonight, how wild tonight has been. I think
honestly has been one of the weirdest ones I've done.
We're taking the stairs down. I'm not even taking that elevator, man.
Before we go downstairs, Zivon, tell people how to find you.
You could look me up. You could Instagram MBZ_worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting up some silly videos. TikTok. Motivation by Z, the letter Z.
Do you have a show you want to plug at any venue? I
guess. I got something coming up. I'm gonna be coming out in we're doing a development run, but then in September we're doing Lifestyles. Produced by Hyperobject, so I'm performing in that and writing some sketches in that, so I'm excited about that. Come through.
Oh, you're in that with Rich Templeton?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Rich, Sydney Duncan.
Directed. Sydney's in it and directed by Patrick McCartney.
Correct.
Beautiful. I need to get him on the show. What do you got going on?
I don't got anything going on. So
how do people find you? Foolish Boy with zeros.
The O's are zeros and there's an underscore. It's confusing. Don't try and look me up.
And I'm Precious Gorgeous. I love you. I'm also Ralph. Bye.
See ya.